Welcome to the Black Doctor Collective podcast. We as Black doctors are in a unique position. We can change our communities, healthcare, and the world. Of course, we start by changing the way we see and value ourselves. I'm your host, Dr. Shanika Horn, pediatrician and physician coach, travel extraordinaire. I am so happy to have you here and listening. So let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Black Doctor Collective podcast. It's Dr. Shanika here, fresh. You see this? Fresh. Off a 2.5-week trip to Ghana with a couple days spent in Liberia. Y'all, the trip was so good. If you're watching YouTube, you can see the freshness. And if you're listening, listen to the freshness in my voice, okay? Because I feel good when I come back from vacation. I have been trying to, ease back into things. That's a lie. That's a whole lie. I did the thing that I'm trying to unlearn, actually. I came back and I immediately threw myself back into work. I landed on Tuesday. I was back on Wednesday morning on calls. Jet lag be damned, okay? Barely aware of the time zone, but just pushing through it. Why? Guilt. Sometimes I'm surprised. I, for some reason, think that because I've embraced this soft life culture and work-life balance, I think I should be unaffected by the guilt that I feel in taking what I think is a long vacation. 2.5 weeks is not something that, and this is not my first vacation of the year. I took off all of January. I did a week in Florida Keys last month or March. I already went to Ghana in January. I have traveled a lot already. And some way, this particular length of time, this 2.5-week period of time, for some reason was eating me up with the guilt of how long I was traveling for. And it just serves as a reminder as to how deeply we are indoctrinated into this concept of we should always be working. So even though I'm aware that this is a dysfunctional concept, and even though I have totally shifted so many things about my life to now, amplify the need for rest and balance and vacations, I still had that guilt. I still had the guilt. I was better this time than last time because the last probably 2 times I went to Ghana, I definitely took some work with me. I was recording the podcast over there, which I don't necessarily mind so much, but I was definitely responding to things that I should not have been, trying to, compromise and do a little bit of something, which really didn't allow me to unplug. And I felt the effects of that after those trips. And so this trip, I was I am determined to not do anything. Now, I have coaching clients who are in the middle of contracts. So those people, I do not mind. That is replenishing work for me. I will correspond with emails, regarding contract negotiations, all of that. But I mean clinical work, I ain't trying to hear that. Don't call me. And the amount of emails I got, I didn't respond, but y'all, can a sister get a break from time to time? Because I felt this guilt and I felt I'm going to be away for such a long time. I did not book any buffer time. I did not block my schedule this week. I should have. And so jet lag, time zone changes, all the things, I'm back in it. I'm going to clinic today. Thankfully, my clinic on Thursdays doesn't start till noon. Although I've been up since 5, so having a 9 a.m. start might have not been a bad thing. I've been up since 9. I've been up since 5. No, that's a lie. I've been up since 3:30 or 4. I have planned Instagram content. I got meatballs in the slow cooker. I did laundry. I was up. So I don't know. We'll see how today goes. My bedtime currently, even though it's a 4-hour time difference from Ghana, my bedtime right now is about 8:30. I finished clinic today at 7. So we'll see how this goes. The other thing that I felt guilty about was that I was using this trip as a form of escapism. So I'm like, I preach rest, I preach boundaries, and I still find myself struggling with my own practice, right? I still battle with the belief that if I'm not available, not immediately back on the grind, something will fall apart. And then I also have been grinding, which is so anti the rest culture, that I really needed this break. I never want to need a break. A break should just be like a nice accoutrement to my life. I should be well rested even in my day-to-day life. So yeah, I'm still working on that because struggles. Okay. And I know this is something that you struggle with, that my clients struggle with. Whew, the internalized doctrines run deep. I had to run my own belief flow. The belief flow is a tool that my coach taught me. It's something I teach my clients where it's how you identify how, like, the results in your life. Like, if you have a result in your life, a circumstance in your life, how are you contributing to creating that circumstance, right? You have to look for what do you believe, what are you thinking and doing that are actually creating the very thing you're trying to avoid. So I ran a belief flow for my escapism. And the belief was like, I needed this vacation to rest. If vacation is where I go to rest. And my thoughts that I kept telling myself was like, oh, I just need to get away. Getting away for a few days will allow me to reset. I will feel replenished afterwards and able to like jump back in and tackle all the things. And so by the time I left for vacation, I was just overwhelmed. I was a little frustrated because I was ready to go. You ever have vacation-itis? It's like right that whole week before I left on a Friday. Big mistake because the whole week was trash mentally. I was like, don't talk to me. I'm going on vacation. Cannot wait till after vacation. Run it back when I'm not heading out the door for vacation, right? Like, all right, we had such a hard time focusing the week before I left. So when you feel like that, when you have all of this hustle, this bustle, this grind, and you tire yourself out, especially leading up to a vacation, or you feel like the only way to actually put things down or to rest is through a vacation, then the action is like you're constantly looking for the next getaway. There are so many memes on social media that's like at work looking for my next getaway, on the plane home looking for my next getaway, because we really believe that getting away is the thing instead of creating a life that we don't need to run from constantly. And the result is like you never actually address the life stressors that lead to this need for escape. So don't get me wrong, I love a vacation. And I think that doctors deserve all the rest, all the luxury, all the time away from their responsibilities because we are people and we need break. But if your career really does feel like a trap, then it's probably something you need to address, right? Like you shouldn't have to escape from it multiple times a year just to survive it. And that's a sign that you either have been living or working unsustainably. So that's what we're talking about today. Why you don't have to choose between the mission and the money. Why you can't actually choose between the mission and money. Because you need both, right? Building a sustainable career requires you to earn more. It's all about designing this work life that doesn't feel like something you have to run from. Funny enough, I've been in this locums world for a while now, per diem, contract, working as a 1099 since I left training. And I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of HR staff, a lot of recruiters. I distinctly recall this recruiter trying to lowball me, right? He's trying to convince me that the rate that I'm asking for is too much and that the rate that he's offering is just right or it's sufficient. And there's all these reasons why, right? Like they love to give you these ancillary benefits that like, oh, but you get this and you get this and nothing translates to dollars, right? Like if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You get their offer. So he's going on the spiel about why the rate is low, but that X, Y, and Z. And in that message, I should have looked it up before this episode, but in that message, he said something along the lines of, We are mission minded, not money minded. And I think he thought, okay, that this would make me feel special or it would trigger my altruism button. And the only thing that man did was piss me clean off, smooth off. Because this is a lie that we've been sold for years. The idea that if you're passionate about your work, that you should be willing to sacrifice financially, and that somehow caring about your community and caring about your bank account cannot coexist. And we've really internalized this, so much so that most of our training programs don't even bother to teach us anything about finances in medicine, right? They don't teach us about RVUs. They don't teach us billing or coding. I mean, I think some people probably have a little element of that in their program, but this should be a regular occurrence, right? Because we're working every day. Why don't we know the numbers? I personally think it's because they know how much money residents make for a hospital and they don't want you to see that the variance in between what you are making and what they are making off of you. But that's neither here nor there. They can still teach us some skills about coding, right? They don't teach us how to run a practice or read a profit statement, how to create profit in a private practice, how to join practice groups, how to be part owners. There's no business element in our training. And if you're a woman and if you're Black, they definitely are not encouraging you to own a practice or to negotiate. My response to that recruiter was that it's a good thing I know how to multitask or that I'm multi-talented because I can be mission and money-minded. Get you a doctor who can do both. Okay? You're not going to psych me out and tell me that I need to be one thing over the other, or that if I'm money-minded, I'm also not capable of being mission-minded. Those things are not mutually exclusive, sir. I went through way too much schooling that cost way too much damn money to be convinced of that. It's crazy to me. I get to be both. You get to be mission-driven and financially secure. So that, let's say the job is terrible and you do need to escape from it, you wouldn't be able to afford it if you were so mission-minded that you didn't have no money to travel to escape, right? To create any kind of balance requires you to be well compensated. They're not going to get us with that one. That's the old okie doke. We're not buying that no more. It's one of the primary things I teach my clients, to stop underpricing themselves, stop treating medicine like a charity. We'd love to think about certain organizations, nonprofits, FQHCs, like, oh, they don't have a lot of money, and I really want to help that population. No, you can do both. You can help the population you love and you can still earn money. We got to stop letting them recoup all of these costs while we take chickpeas and hugs, right? Like, I'm a pediatrician, but I can't pay my bills in stickers. So in my group program, we have a workbook that is basically like an outline, a framework that we use to look at compensation, to understand the underlying numbers, to reconcile how we're going to make more money, how we're going to pitch it to our HR personnel, to whoever's hiring us. Because the more we know about the finances, the easier it is to make the argument or to raise the point, because I don't like to think of it as an argument, but to raise the point that we can have both things. We need to be able to identify the caveats and the pitfalls with this money that they're promising us, because they love to shine money at us. They love to say like, oh, you can get a $20K bonus, a sign-on bonus, a relocation bonus, a retention bonus. You can earn more money by working harder, productivity bonus. You can earn more money by quality measures. Like, they love to say $20,000, $15,000, $10,000. You can have that without telling you any of the conditions. And most of the time, the condition is that you work harder, you stay longer, even though it's not sustainable. And then they don't want to give you the time off or the money to use when you have time off. That's crazy to me. So that's why we go through this formula, right? This framework of like, let me see how to evaluate this conversation truly. Like, is it real money or are you trying to play me? And so that all my clients know exactly what they're agreeing to and how to get out of it if they agree to it. You have to know this to make informed decisions about your career. So we talk about the hidden costs of being mission driven. And these are some of the hidden costs. It's like not being paid well, not being able to afford to do anything, not having the time off to do it, working so hard that you're burning yourself out. And then once you burn out, the level of your care diminishes. So you don't end up being mission driven anyway. Because by then you're like, bump this mission. This job sucks. I'm tired. The only way to actually be mission minded is to also be money minded. They go hand in hand. You deserve to be well paid. You worked really, really hard. Yeah, maybe you could see a patient in 15 or 20 minutes, but you spent 10 years learning how to do that. And you spent a mortgage worth of money learning how to do that. And so you need to be compensated for your expertise based on the time that you front loaded into this job. You deserve to design a career for yourself that you don't have to spend all of your days daydreaming how to get out, how to escape, planning your escape route. So if this resonates with you, and if you're ready to build a career that you don't need to escape from, that supports your mission, your bank account, both, the doors to the Any Day Negotiator program opens May 21st. That's in a couple weeks. You don't have to choose between mission and money. You can have both. And I want to help you get there. I will help you get there because, we don't play that in this group. So reach out. Links are in the show notes. You don't have to choose. You can have both. Thank you for listening. I'm going to head out. This was a short episode. Like I said, jet lag is real, but I think y'all got the message. I'm going to see y'all next week. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. And what I want you to do next is link us everywhere you can. Instagram @The Black Doctor. Just become part of our collective. I want you here. Thanks. Until next time. Bye.